This week, we launch our own podcast. You can listen to it through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. We'll be covering stories from around the world, similar to those you see on this program, but we'll get a bit more personal and candid with our guests and correspondents. So if you're on the go, whether on the train, driving to work, or just out for a run, give us a listen and make sure to subscribe. Search online for CGTN and the Heat Podcast. Climate change, deforestation, rapid urbanization, human actions that are putting 1 million species at risk of extinction in the coming decades. We will take a look at what can be done to prevent it. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. The numbers are alarming. In mid-May, thermometers hit 29 degrees Celsius in northwestern Russia near the Arctic Ocean, where the average temperature that time of year is only 12 degrees Celsius. Around the same time, scientists measured the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere at 415 parts per million. That's the highest level recorded in human history, and a rise of nearly 50% just since the Industrial Revolution. A report released by the United Nations warns that unless humans make transformative changes in behavior, 1 million species could face extinction, as CGTN's Jim Spellman explains.
In the oceans, on land, and in the air, up to 1 million plant and animal species are facing extinction in the coming decades. That's the alarming conclusion from a far-reaching new UN study.
We've lost much of our native forests, much of our native wetlands, and effectively biodiversity needs to be considered as an equally important issue as climate change. It's not just an environmental issue. It is an economic issue, a development issue, a security issue, a social, moral and ethical issue. The time for action clearly is now.
145 authors from 50 countries spent 3 years compiling the report. They conclude that human activity is driving this ecological crisis. Global climate change and pollution, plus deforestation, industrial farming, overfishing, and rapid urbanization are damaging or eliminating natural habitats, in turn threatening humanity.
As we lose biodiversity, it threatens human well-being, all the way, as I've said, from food security, water security, energy security. Also, loss of natural resources in some parts of the world can lead to conflict between people, basically. And especially poor people are hurt, and therefore they're most dependent on natural resources.
Environmental activists want action now, and the authors say it's not too late for change on a global scale.
We have not lost the battle, and if given a chance, nature will reconquer its rights and will prevail. And so we really want everyone to feel that they can contribute, that they are part of the solution.
The authors say we will need to make transformative change in how we eat, live, and work to reduce the negative impact humans are having on the planet. Actions that will require putting long-term environmental benefit ahead of short-term economic gain. Jim Spellman, CGTN, Washington.